This particular sculpture was made for a company called WRG. Now, working from their drawings, it was up to Sculpture Studios then to collate and get everything made and put it all together and send it out in a flight case to Doha. This was a bit of an unusual one for Sculpture Studios to take on in the first place, as we never really had much hands on ourselves, but it was important that the timing element and also the collation of the whole piece came together exactly on time and got delivered into Qatar as and when we wanted it. So we went to work. We actually had, we broke the elements down to the sculpture down into several pieces, and then we had a flight case made to fit. And this was important, it fitted exactly as it was going to be air freighted, and we wanted to make sure it got from Sculpture Studios in England to Doha so very, very safely. The next piece I had to get made was then the marble itself. We actually visited a stone quarry. We chose several pieces of stone in order to select from, and then we actually come to the conclusion that the black with the little fleck was the most advantageous for our particular piece. It's a funny thing, but when you visit different trades, you understand your own kind of elements, but they actually point out the pitfalls and the difficulties in creating what we want. And now, after a lot of discussion, we come to a real fair conclusion on mitering the corners and getting the actual sculpture exactly as I wanted it. The next part of the project that I wanted to concentrate on was the disc, as this was a bit of an unknown quantity really. We actually had a DSX file made and then we had it water jet cut in aluminium at 12mm thick. The company who cut it was really efficient and quick, so I understand the restraints and the properties on the water jet process now, so that's a good learning curve. Once I had the disc made, I had the stand cut and then we had it polished and tapped and died, so then it could be mounted inside the marble piece, and then the disc to actually fit inside there and lock on in its true location, which is in an upright position, which was important as that was their logo. Now we actually wanted the disc to have a kind of metallic feel, so we sprayed it with a chrome and then lacquers with a dye in it to get that kind of red, that fading in crossfade, which will look really nice in the end, and I hope the client's very happy with it. Now, with the smaller elements such as the disc, we had them engraved and then we got them painted, and then we had a sticky back surface put on the back of the plate, and then when we felt the time was right before putting it into the box, we could then mount it onto the marble. It was most important that our timing was correct above all, and kind of business managing all these elements, which in a sense are out of Sculpture Studios' control. But I do understand how things are made, so I know the restraints and the difficulties on creating these pieces with all the materials. As I've said before, when you're kind of business managing a project, as regards to actually doing it yourself, you learn different things about different trades, and it's always quite a learning curve experience really, which I appreciate and I like going through. Now, the sculpture did get to Doha in one piece, and I must say on time, and the client was really, really happy with the project and the piece of sculpture itself, so thank you very much indeed, WRG, for the work.